Okay, hopefully you'll be able to hear me. Now then, depends if you can all hear me. I'm going live. Let me just go to my channel. Hang on. Can you hear me now? Oh, great, we have sound. Right, I'm sorry, I don't know what went wrong there. I just restarted everything and it's working now. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry about not having the sound earlier on. Okay, I don't know what the hell went wrong there. But Gary, hello. Deborah Hatswell, hi Deborah. Anthony Morn, Julian Carver, another blonde. Hey, another blonde. How are you? Loud and clear. Thank you very much. And who else is there? Diego Rivera. Hello, Diego. Yeah, you and Deborah will get on well. And DJ B2. Hello, and Anthony Morn again. Hi, and Graham. Welcome all of you, and thank you for hi Dangerous Jan and Chili. Thank you for tuning into this live stream, this special live stream. And I've now got to find. I've got to find my notes now because I was so fussed up about the. I was so fussed up about the sound problem. I don't know what went wrong there, but it's working now anyway. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this. Let me just find where's the UFO stuff. Hang on. Okay, I'll just find my notes. One moment. Play amongst yourselves for a little while, just while I sort this out. Here we go. Right. Okay. Now, we've had some. There's been like a big problem with. So Gary, you can't hear me. Hi, Steve. Refresh, right? Because is anyone else? Can anyone else? Can all the rest of you hear me? I can hear you. Great. Most people can hear me, so it may be you may just have to refresh. Just refresh the page. Okay, that's it, Gary. Yeah, leave and come back. Okay. Mr. Cutsy, hi. Sounds fine. Great. Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks, Deborah. Hi, Badge. Hi, Neil. Great to see you, Neil. Yeah, there may be problems at your end, but thanks another blonde. So if you can't hear me now, I think it may be a problem at your end. Try refreshing the page or unplugging in and plugging out your earphones. Okay. Now, I've got my notes here. Now, last Saturday week on Hawaii, I don't know how many of you were on Hawaii. I need to fill up with dragon juice, but they had a bit of a rude awakening. A bit of a rude awakening on Hawaii. And this apparently is not unknown because Hawaii is a dangerous place really. There's freak weather, there's tornadoes and there's hurricanes, and it's also very, very volcanically active. It's got the biggest volcano in the world, and there are alarms to do with eruptions and lava flows and earthquakes and things like that. And what happened was, there's something called the Hawaiian Emergency Management Agency, which coordinates all of this. And on Saturday morning around 8 AM, a round-robin text message and tweet was sent to everybody, or everybody's devices and on social media, warning that there was going to be a nuclear attack. It says here, emergency alert issued to Hawaii phones, a ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii, seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. And so people really thought they were about to suffer an attack by nuclear weapons. And of course, basically from North Korea. North Korea is the obvious source of this danger. And Hawaiians have been worried about the escalating tensions in the Far East. Because Kim Jong-un, the little fat boy who runs the country, he specifically mentioned the United States of America as one of his country's greatest enemies. He says he has missiles capable of striking it. Hawaii is the obvious place. It's closest. It's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And, of course, that's happened in previous wars, where Hawaii is targeted first. And the people really took the threat seriously, and they hastened to whatever shelters they could. In hotels and public buildings, people headed for the basement. there were people just in the middle of the street. They forced their children to climb down manholes. And there was sadness along with the alarm, and people were calling up loved ones essentially to say goodbye. And one woman had a very tearful conversation with her mother, who was a 95-year-old lady who had survived the 1941 Pearl Harbor attack. She couldn't lie down on the floor for protection because she was too old. She couldn't get down there. And then 38 minutes later, after a long period of pandemonium, it all came out. It was a terrible mistake. And the services sent out a second tweet apologising profusely and saying to everyone on Hawaii there was no real missile threat. And the governor, David Ige, his name is, he reported that a worker at the Hawaii Emergency Management Services pushed the wrong button during a shift change. I mean, it's just ludicrous. You could just imagine someone comes in like, "Oh, morning, Nigel. How are you doing? Good. You know, what's I can tell you, what's this button do, mate? Have you used a button that sort of here? I've never known this. Tell us what that does." "Dave, it does a hell of a lot. Don't press it, whatever you do." "Oh, you sure? You sure, Nigel?" Yeah. Just don't press it, whatever you do. All right? Promise?" Yeah, sure." "Okay, I'm off home. You got the shop. Night night. See you, Nigel." "I'll press it just to make sure." No, it's not like that. I mean, Dr. Michael E. Sala, who's written a couple of articles on this, he commented. He said quite distinctly, the Emergency Management Agency has a system where you have to go through 5 separate authentication checks, and then there are two buttons that are 8 feet apart, and you have to have a key. The operators have a key. They insert the key at the same time and press the button at the same time, and these are 8 feet apart, so only 2 people can do it. So it's literally impossible for one person to send out an accidental tweet or accidental signal saying this. And so I reckon it was done deliberately. Now, the fact that it's reported there was normal activity on the local military bases indicates that this was done by the Hawaiian Emergency Management Agency, and it was done deliberately through them from an outside source. It wasn't done through the normal command structure, normal defence structure of the United States. And I believe it was done deliberately, and I think it was some kind of psychological operation. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to test people's reactions. They wanted to know what would happen if there was a missile incoming to Hawaii. And you can bet all the psychological think tanks were in on this. The Tavistock Institute, the RAND Corporation, the Stanford Research Institute, all these people would be watching. They were probably behind this test. And of course that's an extraordinarily cruel thing to do, to use the people of Hawaii as guinea pigs in some experiment. And people could have been injured, people could have been killed. In this scenario, some people commit suicide. And this has been done before. There's several times in the Cold War when I suspect this was done. And there's been other cases not involving nuclear missiles. And I think once this was done involving alien invasion. Now in October 1938, the day before Halloween, a radio play, an adaptation of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, was broadcast. It was directed by Orson Welles, and it tells the story of a global invasion by hostile extraterrestrials, and the style of the play was what we would today call a docudrama. It was made to sound real, and in those days that was very rare. And the thing is, a number of people actually thought it was real. They panicked. Some people jumped into their cars and fled for the hills. Others looted shops. There were riots in the street. A number of people were injured by violence and by car accidents. And the blame was placed on the director Orson Welles. He took the rap for this. But I do wonder if the purpose of the play was to see how the population would react if they were faced with armed and dangerous UFOs. How would they respond? And I'm not saying the play was produced for that purpose, but it may have been, if it was created without that purpose, then it means It could be that the psychological think tanks were watching it, even if it wasn't created for that purpose. They realised they could still use it. It happened to hit the right note that they needed. And so that's what I thought might be happening. It's a kind of War of the Worlds scenario, except for nuclear missiles. Now, since then, more has happened. Dr. Michael E. Salla, I was telling you about, he's written a couple of articles. Because I was sure, and I still think it's the most likely possibility that this is a psychological warfare operation. It's a test. But new information has come to light. There's a different hypothesis going around, and that is that the missile attack was actually real. There are a couple of websites that claim that a ballistic missile was launched at Hawaii by a submarine belonging to the Illuminati, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, or a rogue faction of the Chinese Navy. And it's possible that the deep state was using this particular faction as a proxy. Now, some people say Israel did it. No, Israel doesn't have submarines that can launch ballistic missiles. China does. So does the United States, Britain, and a couple of other countries. And there's no reliable source I can find, but I don't know if you're familiar with Michael E. Salla, because he's in the exopolitics world. He does a lot to do with disclosure. He's a very interesting chap, an Australian exopolitician. And he takes it seriously. He lives on Hawaii. He knows straight away, as soon as he saw the text message, he realised, and he found out that later they said it was an accident. He said there's no way that could be posted by accident. There's certainly no way that they wait 38 minutes before realising the mistake they'd made. Now, this is very interesting. Now, it was actually a Hawaiian senator, Daniel Inouye, who actually said in 1987 that the CIA has its own dark fleet, its own navy. And what's interesting is just days after, just 3 days after this event in Hawaii, there was another event in Japan with an almost identical scenario. This time it was done through the media. The media put out an instant saying, the news agency put out a TV report saying that there was a missile inbound from North Korea. And now, what this could be is a false flag attack, which is meant to implicate North Korea. Now, this would be essentially another much more extreme 9/11 involving nuclear weapons. And if that actually went through, what would happen immediately is there would be an immediate full nuclear retaliation by the United States. That would devastate North Korea. And the question is why. Now, Salla thinks it's to do with Trump, because Trump has recently tried to rein in the corruption that he believes is the source of organisation and funding for the deep state, and it's at a contact point for the overt political structures, like his own administration, which is good, because it means that they don't have complete control over the Trump administration. I mean, I know they're trying to rein him in. I think he's been compromised up to a point, but it could be he's fighting back. I hope so. I hope that's the case. And so that's good news. But there's still nuclear missiles flying around the place, because this has now been tried at least twice. There was an event in Michigan, USA, where you see like a vertical streak coming down. It's been called a meteor, but no fragments have been found. Which means if we're looking at nuclear missiles being launched and being thwarted, what happened? Either they malfunctioned or they were shot down. Now, shooting down ballistic missiles is impossible using overt warfare, or officially recognised weapons. The Star Wars program of the Cold War has never actually been set up completely and capable of doing something like that. But there could be a covert one associated with the secret space program. And that's good news as well, because it means that whoever is involved with the secret space program, or part of it anyway, is siding with the Trump administration over the deep state. And so if Steve Bassett is watching this, I'd say to him, don't be too hasty to dismiss Trump as the disclosure president. Because Bassett is he's convinced that Trump is this sort of antichrist and Hillary Clinton was going to be the disclosure president and she's wonderful. No, there are people, neither of them are perfect, but I'd say Trump is way preferable to Hillary, and I think we've got a better chance with him. But Steve is just denouncing him as like this demonic figure. Well, another possibility is the saboteurs of these missiles might be the extraterrestrials. Now, Michael Salla was saying there were UFO sightings from a boat in Hawaii. They took photographs of these sort of clear objects. At the same time as this missile alert. And I don't know who it was. I mean, obviously, if whoever it was, whether it was the UFOs, whether it was people in the secret space program, thanks. That's all I can say. Thank you very much. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was actually aliens, because extraterrestrials have, of course, been involved with nuclear weapons before. They've shown a distinct interest in nuclear weapon capability. Captain Robert Salas, who talked about the incident at Malmstrom Air Force Base, where he actually had an encounter when he was on alert because he was one of the launch officers. So that is what I wanted to bring to you. I'll bring up some more about UFOs in a minute. I just want to see how you guys are doing. So if you want to ask me any questions, Diego says he needs a bullshit button. All right, I may not be able to get all your questions because there's a lot of questions being posted. If I miss some, just repost them. If you think they're really important, repost them again. And classic car of Harrogate spotted. Okay, that's what a lot of people say. There's a war going on up there with all the comets and flashes and things falling to the ground and burnt holes in the ground. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Chris. Great job. Thanks, Chris Walford. Now, what is a possibility is this could be part of the weaponization of space. Because if space has been weaponized, that's not necessarily a good thing. Because unless somebody on our side is kind of working for us. Gary, I'll answer. I've got to say a few words about Steve mumbling, actually. Badge 51. Does the UK have the same mobile notification systems about ballistic missiles like the US? I don't know, Badge. I'm not aware of it. Certainly not on the civilian level. I mean, I think there is aerospace defence, which is part of that. It's all part of Britain's still part of NATO. NATO's still going on, so they have aerospace defence. But yeah, I mean, this is Carol Rosin was warning about the weaponisation of space because it was Werner von Braun who told her you must stop the weaponisation of space. This is a guy who predicted the end of the Cold War within a decade. He told her this in 1977, predicting the end of the Cold War within a decade, and that that terrorists would replace the threat of the communists, of the Russians, these evil Ruskies. Well, Alex Fate. Hey, Alex, as my former co-host on Mindset Podcast, is in the chat now. Now, Alex, I hear all the time about this. There's a lot of fake news being spread about Trump being in bed with the Russians, about basically he's a Russian agent, etc. And it's all male cow excrement. He's not, definitely. But now, well, now there's more. There's more. I don't know if on the subject of UFOs. Just before these missile incidents broke out, there was a very large amount of fuss to do with UFOs. If you remember, there was a massive amount of there's some news stories that broke out just before Christmas. I was in the basis studio. I was doing some filming with Miles, and the news came through. Oh, the US government has just declassified a massive UFO investigation project. And I'm like, what? And it was quite remarkable. I was actually sitting there, and let me just find the background. Hang on, here we go. Yeah, a week in ufology. That was quite something. Yeah, and I just found I didn't have a chance to say anything because I was in the middle of filming. But I looked at it, and it said that the government, the Pentagon, the US government, had admitted that it ran a classified UFO research program from 2007 to 2012. Now that's 40 years after it officially stopped investigating UFOs. They said, there's nothing to see here, move along. Project Blue Book was the last official US Department of Defense investigation. It was ended in 1969, and there was the Condon report, the Condon Committee. Just basically said, there's nothing to see here, move along. And then do you remember the disclosure petition? I talked about this at the time. In 2011, there was that big disclosure petition, which demanded that a government position on UFOs, and they got the signatures they wanted, enough. They got all the signatures they needed, and so the White House had to respond. And the Obama administration said, basically, the position is there. We are not interested in UFOs. We've not investigated it because we believe they don't exist as entities. We believe they're all mistaken identity, fraud, weather balloons, kites, all kinds of things like that. And so the government said, well, they had basically no interest at all in UFOs. They were not relevant. Now, then it came out that they've had this project going with the Department of Defense. It was cost £15 million a year, which is a lot of money to spend on something they say doesn't exist. Oh dear. Now, there was a radio show all about UFOs, and this is when it all started, because this was just a mainstream radio show, and they brought on two ufologists, Leslie Kane and Cheryl Costa. But then they were joined on the show by this guy called Luis Elizondo, who's a former Department of Defense official who's behind this whole thing, along with someone called Senator Harry Reid. And what's more, they actually contracted someone whose name is very well known in the field. That is Robert Bigelow. Robert Bigelow is a millionaire philanthropist who's a very, very keen interest in the paranormal and UFOs, and he uses his considerable wealth to fund some very, very interesting and very, very important research into the UFO paranormal field. It's very, very good. It's very good of him to do that. And for instance, you remember the Skinwalker Ranch. Now, the Skinwalker Ranch was this basically haunted farmhouse. They made a movie about it. It wasn't very good. A fictional movie. But the actual, if you listen to the documentaries and you read the books about it, it was a very, very interesting case. And there was an investigation there which was funded by NIDS, National Investigation of just something, I can't remember what NIDS stood for. But anyway, Bob Bigelow funded that. And the research wouldn't have been half as good if he hadn't done it. And they got an amazing amount of evidence. And of course, part of the declassification was this film that was put out by a US Navy fighter jet, which showed a strange object in the sky. And it's like it's been called the Tic Tac footage. Now, apparently, the pilot has been interviewed, and he said, yeah, it was something very, very strange. It was something we didn't recognise. And I mean, he's in his job, he has to recognise aircraft. And then Nick Pope was asked to comment in the media, and they don't often do that, do they? But they got Nick Pope involved, and he said, well, we can't rule it out. I can neither confirm nor deny that. No, he didn't. Believe it or not, he didn't say that. What he said was, it's an extraordinary revelation, not least because it directly contradicts the many specific denials that the US government has issued previously when asked about this subject and their involvement in it. The take-home message is there is probably something out there, we don't know what it is. I don't often agree with Nick Pope to that extent. He's right. Now, none of these news stories are in themselves revolutionary, but they're still intriguing, and the fact that they've been presented to us all at once in such a large volume in a short space of time means, are we being prepared for something? And there was a guy, a very, very interesting, a YouTuber, made a couple of brilliant videos about this. He's got a great name, Mouthy Buddha, his name is. You can find him on YouTube. He's done two really good videos about this because he was talking about the involvement of Tom DeLonge, this rock star from Blink-182. He got together with a number of former government intelligence and military-industrial complex corporate insiders, and he set up this thing called the To the Stars Academy, and it aims to be the medium of UFO disclosure. And I didn't get involved in this at the time because I didn't have time to basically write about it because Roswell Revealed was coming out, my book. So sorry about that, but Tom DeLonge, I listened to him on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he's pretty amazing. Now, some of his collaborators, it's very interesting who they are. It's Hal Puthoff. Hal Puthoff is a parapsychologist who actually works for the CIA. He tested Uri Geller in 1972, and I think he recruited him as a psychic spy. And another person who's involved is Luis Elizondo, who I've mentioned before, the Pentagon official. And these people got together and basically they've done press conferences, they've done videos, they've done loads of stuff now, which makes it sound like this is an official. This could be like the path to disclosure. But what's really going on is this fake disclosure. And Mouthy Buddha, he refers to an incident in the past, which is one of the darkest eras of ufology, and that is the Benowitz affair. This is where someone called Paul Benowitz. Paul Benowitz was a very keen UFO spotter, and he used to basically point his camera and his radio scanner at the sky at night in his back garden, and he started picking up signals from a local military base. Now, what the official story is that these spies, or these intelligence agents, people like, there's this guy called Richard Doty, who used to be the Air Force Office of Special Investigation. He's kind of the American equivalent of Nick Pope. He's kind of like an insider within the government structure who investigates UFOs, and he's speaking out, and he's often invited to conferences and things like that. But he actually, well, there's a long story behind this, but he recruited several people to what's called the aviary spy ring, including Bill Moore, the guy who co-wrote the first Roswell book. They basically fed disinformation to Paul Benowitz, and they drove him crazy. Now, according to several people, and it's quite a fashionable idea nowadays, the whole purpose of what they were doing, the whole purpose of this UFO phenomenon, is that it is in itself a piece of engineered modern mythology. It's designed by the intelligence services to launder their much more down-to-earth secret operations. But I've always disagreed with this, and I've explained why several times. It's a very, very risky gambit to draw somebody's attention away to something, towards something, to draw someone's attention towards something with the ultimate objective of deflecting it away. It's a very risky gambit indeed. It could backfire in so many ways. I think what we're really facing here is an elaborate double bluff. And Mouthy Buddha actually does not go along with the Mark Pilkington line, which is, oh well, it's all just spy planes and UFOs don't exist, when it's being engineered. But he does say that there is disinformation. The government sows active disinformation into the UFO field. But it's not because UFOs aren't real, it's because they just want to confuse the researchers. I mean, Paul Benowitz, you see, I don't believe that Richard Doty just said, or encouraged him to get hold of the idea that UFOs were behind these transmissions from the base. Because what Doty said was that Paul Benowitz had accidentally picked up secret military transmissions from the base. And so Doty encouraged Paul Benowitz to think they were UFOs and to report them as UFOs. The thing about it is, though, I mean, that doesn't make sense. That does not cover up what they need to cover up at that time. And what's more, it'd be much easier just to simply be honest with Paul Benowitz and say, look, mate, you've just picked up something you shouldn't, and can you please just not tell anyone about it? Because Benowitz would have agreed. Benowitz was a patriotic guy. He was a fighter pilot in World War II. He loved his country. He would have agreed, and he would have kept quiet. This is why I think we're facing an elaborate double bluff. And if Tom DeLonge is being exploited in the same way as Paul Benowitz was, then he's involved in it, because Mouthy Buddha suspects this. Because this is what concerns me, and there may be some connection with these missile incidents as well. But if we're approaching a period in history where willing disclosure is unavoidable, then the government might well just fall back to the fake disclosure scenario, and it could be that these missiles might be something to do with it. Now, Bryce Zabel is the creator of Dark Skies. He's a UFO expert, and he's a writer, and he's written several books, and he co-wrote AD After Disclosure with this Richard Dolan. And I was in the audience at the 2011 Leeds Exopolitics event, where he said that if it turned out the aliens were evil, what they would do is we might have to forgive the government for their century of secrecy, including the free energy and things like that, and unite behind them to save the planet. But in that case, surely somebody will get the idea at some point of telling us the aliens are evil, even if they're not, in order to wriggle off that particular hook, even to the point of staging false flag alien attacks. Now this, if you read my book Roswell Rising, A Novel of Disclosure, this comes up in that book. Shameless plug, yeah. Available at all good bookshops now. So something is waiting in the wings. We are upstream of more information. There's going to be another announcement at some point. And the question is, this is why I wanted to do this live stream. What will the objective of that revelation be? How realistic will it be? How can we trust the authorities? That the revelation will not be spun for their benefit? And I say no, we can't. So, well, is there any? What do you think might happen? I mean, just let me know in the chat if you do. DJB2 says we want Dolan's other books, but don't trust Amazon. Oh, you can get AD After Disclosure now. It's very, very good. I've got a copy on my shelf. Chris Follett says they are kind of, if real, taking you from your bed without permission. Better to get ready for humans to alien punch contact. Well, you see, some of them, you see, see, Chris, some of the aliens obviously are hostile. I mean, this is the thing. They do things. They kill animals, and they take parts of their body. There's human bodies have turned up with these injuries, which you see the cattle have. I know Linda Moulton Howe doesn't like it, but it's true. DJ, do you like AD After Disclosure? Great book. Very, very interesting indeed. So, but the majority of aliens appear to be observing us indifferently. That's the impression I get. They are observing us indifferently, and we just... There were a few that seemed to be particularly friendly. I mean, Mary Rodwell in particular has interviewed and examined children that have had various kinds of contact experiences, and they have been they're like loving creatures. They're spiritual, and there's a few that are hostile. There's a few that are. I mean, and Alex said Richard D. Hall did a good few shows on human mutilations. He did, like human mutilations and NATO. That's very good, Alex. Yeah, that I do recommend. It's chilling. It is worrying, but yeah, it could happen. Julian Carver, drip dip disclosure, conditioning the public over a set out time period. Ultimately, it's about the elite creating the threat from outer space. Well, Julian, this is it. I think they're going to spin disclosure any way they can. Now, I used to think there wouldn't be a way to spin it, but I think they could. Lee, David Munday, the human race is evil. Why do we worry so much about aliens? Oh, well, not all of us are evil, David. I mean, we have our problems, you know, obviously, but I do worry. I'm more concerned about other people I am about aliens, definitely. Now, what planet are the reptilians from, says Diego Rivera. They're actually interdimensional, I believe. Though there are reptile aliens. People see, like, reptile-type aliens. Emperor Mong, somebody killed an alien with a coal shovel. Now, that was, yeah, that's Richard D. Hall, actually. This is one of his early works, he did this. That was actually a guy, it was a guy called Robert Hall. It was his uncle who whacked an alien with a shovel. And this happened a long time ago. It happened in 1940. But there was an early type Roswell event where some craft came down, there were some creatures, and one of them did whack it with a coal shovel, and the police took it away. P900 Sandra, hello to Sandra, how are you? What about an asteroid hitting the Earth? Now, Diego Rivera, I don't know if you've actually seen the news stories, but there's no asteroid going to hit the Earth. Yeah. Gateshead, the Gateshead Grey, that's right, Gary, yeah, Gateshead Grey, that's it. Steve071, any political disclosure will only be the false flag They're coming back to attack us. BS. Well, this is the problem, isn't it? I mean, if the government are trying to carry out false flag nuclear attacks, or one faction of the government, and the UFOs are stopping them, or other factions of the government, or other factions of the deep state, then, or something challenging the deep state within the authorities, then, yeah, there's going to be more spin, definitely. Distracting us away from failed politics, elite create the threat to bring everyone behind them, says Julian Carver. Yeah, exactly. As Ronald Reagan said, think how much our differences would fall away if we were facing a threat from beyond the Earth. Yeah, oh, and Classic Cars of Harrogate has just said that very thing. Apophis. Oh, DJ, I've heard about that. Yeah, I do space weather reports every week on Hapanwo Radio if you want to stop them. Now, why don't we have a 360-degree live feed, real-time footage from the space station? Well, obviously because it's fake and the Earth is flat. Yeah, interesting question. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I think things are censored. Seriously, Tink. Things are censored from the International Space Station. Do you remember Samantha Cristoforetti, that astronaut? She was out in space doing some work on the space station with this Russian guy, and she says, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" Really, really worried because she saw a UFO, and then the Russian guy said, "Shh, quiet, quiet, quiet," because he knew that she couldn't say anything about it. Now, it could be that she hadn't been told. No one had taken her to one side and said, "Look, Samantha, there's some things you need to know." Right. The Big Midge. Hi, Big Midge. Visitations have been going on for thousands of years. Cave paintings. Yeah, that's right. Sandra, there are loads out there we don't know. I'll check my video. What the fuck? 3 closer. Why do we have 4,200 religions and laws that are trying to tame our nature? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's so what is going to happen, I think, is we're going to have more. We may have more of these failed nuclear strikes, but one might get through. That's a problem. And Badge says, what was the recent ISS astronaut stood down? Black African lady. Why was the recent ISS astronaut? Oh, I don't know, Badge. I don't know about that. Gary PR says Sandrito. Now, Gary, that's you're talking about the Bearwood Mountains incident, aren't you? But yeah, that was really interesting. Stephen Bamber. Hey, Stephen. Ain't seen you for a while. Chris. Nature's harsh and we man would get their arse kicked a lot. Yeah. I don't know who you mean about the astronaut you're talking about. Hang on. Oh, no, I know you. Oh, you mean the one who collapsed? Oh, Ronnie Barkey. Oh, it's Ronnie Barkey. Hey, you turn up on time for these shows, don't you? Now, there's a book about extraterrestrials, The Field Guide to Extraterrestrials, Patrick Hugh. I've not seen that. Now, who was it someone saying that? Excuse me, let's scroll back up through the Spurg chat. Oh, somebody collapsed, didn't they? Somebody collapsed while they were doing a speech. Still got a bit of this cough, I don't believe it. I've got to make a phone call. So I've got a phone because... Sorry, but I mean, you have to excuse me a moment. Okay, it won't be a second. But this is to do with work. I couldn't really put the phone off the hook, that's the problem. No, that's all right. They're not in, but I might have to either take a phone call or make a phone call, simply because just for work. Okay, Hugo Rune. Hey Hugo, how are you? Tell me, how do I access these extra dimensions that the aliens come from? Well, I know Hugo, you don't believe there are extra dimensions. I believe. I mean, we were talking about this. I've had a private conversation with Hugo about this. And Hugo, you were saying that you believe you go along with the electric universe idea. Is it Neil Austin? There was a Japanese nuclear alert. That's right, Neil. The 3 days after the Hawaii one. Very strange that. Disclosure of not being itself, says the Big Midge. If different races have different agendas, surely one would be open to humanity knowing the truth. Well, this is the question, because they are. That aliens, people say the aliens are good, the aliens are bad. Well, the aliens, well, of course, the many different species have been identified. There's a virtual taxonomy of them, and they exhibit a very wide variety of behaviours, and they seem to have very different agendas. So I don't know why. I mean, it's hard to put yourselves in their shoes if they even have 2 feet. Oh, thanks, Stephen. I'll try that. A chili dish will sort it out. I mean, I thought I got over this cough, but it's got worse. Maybe I think because I was nervous because the damn sound wasn't working earlier. What I might have to do is just I'll download the video and edit it and may upload it if it's too much of a problem. This is when after the live stream's finished, because the live stream. Steve says, Ben, how many things seen in the sky do you think are holographic, if any? I don't know, Steve. I think it's the 9/11 planes, certainly. But if the 9/11 planes can be created, why not other things? Classic Cars of Harrogate. Lloyd Pye did aliens not play a part in our creation? Classic Cars of Harrogate, yes. Oh, you heard of the Star Child skull? You mentioned Lloyd Pye. The Star Child skull is very interesting indeed, and I think it's proof. I think that there are extraterrestrial involvements. Now, Diego Rivera says, "What is the alien chip in your arm?" Well, actually, it's a thing. I don't know if you can see, there's that mark on my arm. You may not be able to see it on the webcam, but I've shown it you on other videos. There's something in there which is actually radiating electronic pulses. And I don't know what it is, but I have had it scanned and it's there. I don't know what it is or who put it there or what put it there. I have no memory of any experience that would lead me to believe this has been done to me. And Hugo Root says, actually, Ben, I don't think the EU people have it right, but they are a better model than your friend Brian, who's a pretty boy Cockstead. Ugh, my friend Brian. Oh, yeah. EU mean Electric Universe. All right, Wal Thornhill, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, have you thought of writing a book, Hugo? Because, you know, when I spoke to you, you really seem to have some very interesting ideas. And you seem to have thought a lot about this. And you have been, you've obviously you put together quite a complex theoretical model. You should write a book, mate. Chris Follett, are you talking about the... You're talking about the Star Child. It was not human. It was not proven human. They've actually done a second DNA test which shows it doesn't even have one human parent. Okay. At least the chip's in your arm. Mine's in your shoulder, says 69 Phuket. Have you got one too in your shoulder? They seem to be quite common. I mean, I know. I don't know if someone else who's been in chat has got one too, and I don't know if they want to actually own up and tell them who they are. Gary PR says, here's one, Ben. I've always been a little sceptical about chemtrails. What's the best evidence you've seen and could recommend watching and reading? Well, it's actually some of the actual geoengineering theoretical documents that have been published, including some of the meetings, some of the which have been discussed at a very high level, the possibility of what they call solar radiation management. And they're basically, there's some people actually pushing and saying we just need permission from governments and we can start. And of course, a secret operation wouldn't necessarily wait for the decadent democracies to actually give them permission. They just start doing it, which I think is what we're seeing. Stephen Babbitt, I think you got that chip in that conference in Yorkshire. Well, Stephen, you know, I first noticed it actually, I think at the 3rd International UFO Truth Conference. I remember that. Yeah, I just noticed this mark on my arm. I didn't think of anything of this mark. It looked like a little alien face, a little red circle. You can't see it on the webcam, but there's a little red circle there with 2 dots which look like eyes. And I didn't think much of it at the time. I just thought it looked like an alien face. But when I got scanned for chips, the whole thing was actually coming from there. Oh, Unite Planet's here. Unite Planet, hope you're well, my friend. Great to meet you on Saturday for our chat. You're a good man and have some great knowledge. Agree with you regarding the Star Child skull too. Unite Planet, great. Thanks for posting. Unite Planet, the 2 guys from Unite Planet came to visit me on Saturday and we did some filming. So if you check out their channel, There's already some great stuff there with Andrew Johnson. There's going to be some great stuff there with me pretty soon. Diego Vieira, what about Planet 9 disclosure? I don't know what that is. Virgin Burgers Galactic is the real name for Virgin Galactic. Richard Branson is selling out the human race. Well, Richard Branson's buying up half the NHS at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I think if he probably would, there probably would be sort of like a Virgin Illuminati at some point. You know, it's, all those virgins, they still get screwed. Stephen, it's called Unite Planet. Is the name of the channel. Scroll up, you can see them. They're posting. Do you see? If you just go up and you scroll up, you'll see Unite Planet. That's their YouTube channel. There's stuff with Andrew Johnson on there already. There'll be some stuff with me soon. V8 Mo says chemtrails, just a cog in the works of the agenda. Emperor Mong, good, nice one, Emperor. Sub to them, good, because they got some great videos on there. Even the ones without me in are good. Yes, I'll look forward to that. Now, I don't know if the person wants to. I'll see if she's on Facebook. No, I'm not gonna. I'll leave that for now. But I know someone who was posting in the chat box earlier has also has implants, and it's up to them whether they want to actually say so. I won't reveal who they are. I'll tell them their story. That's for them to do. But yeah, I mean, these things are. That's another thing you see. They put stuff. If they're putting stuff inside you, what are they? I mean, they don't resemble any electronics that we know of. They're just like little slivers of metal with some kind of ceramic or plastic coating, which seems to prevent the immune system from rejecting them. And there's no swelling or soreness around there, which you get with a splinter, for example. Steve O71, Ben, does Alternative 3 have any validity? No. Now, Alternative 3 was a docudrama which came out in 1976. It was actually due to come out when Star Wars was going to be released, but the Star Wars release was delayed for a few months for some reason. Now, Alternative 3 tells a story about an investigative journalist who finds out it's a mock of a documentary that some very important people are being taken off the Earth. They're basically leaving the Earth to work on a secret base on Mars. Well, yes, I think there is some validity to it. I don't necessarily think that Alternative 3 is sort of like giving out any secret information. It might do, but I mean, there are bases on Mars. You see, there are the Illuminati have bases on Mars. There was a secret space program. There always are people on Mars, and the Moon, and several other places as well. So it could be that someone had found out about this and they were looking into it. Now, Alex Fay says, have you seen the Orion spacecraft capsule, a rehash of the Apollo design? Repeat. I have, yeah, Alex. According to Elon Musk, he says he's going to send some 2 human passengers to Mars, to the Moon. I don't believe it when I see it. Stephen Bamber, I have got your links. Thank you very much for sending me those. Badge 51. Oh, here we go. I knew this would come up. The Capel Green documentary. Were you involved? And is it Larry's final account of the RFI? Well, I wasn't directly involved, but I've been told all about it. I'm going to assist with the distribution and things like that, and the publicity. It is Larry's final account of the RFI. I've got an entire database of material on Larry Warren, which you can look at. Including a video. Larry Warren Goes to Rendlesham Forest. I've done 2 radio shows with him. There's a vast number of articles where I've examined his entire case. I've examined the supposed evidence that has been presented that is supposedly proving Larry is a fraud, and it's all nonsense. From start to finish. It's not just slightly wrong, it's completely wrong. Everything. Neil, I'm happy to radiograph your implant. Oh, thanks. That's nice of you. I don't know if it'll actually show. If it's one that some of them don't all show up on X-ray, but that'd be cool. Thanks. So who's doing implants? Government agency or aliens? I don't know, David. Maybe both. I don't know. Cult groups have devices that can track you. Okay. Oh, another blonde. Hi, another blonde. At the start of the movie E.T. is a reenactment of the Rendlesham incident. It is the original. the start is a forest. It's a forest landing with a triangular craft. I remember. Very odd that. And funny thing is, ET came out. I think it came out slightly before, or even just before, just after the RFI. Either way, they couldn't have known about it through the normal channels. So I wonder how they knew. VA Mo says, Ben, any thought of wisdom about the real political structure of our universe? I'm fascinated by this structure, by this subject. Well, we have the Illuminati on Earth. I don't know how big the Illuminati is, but I think their reach goes beyond this Earth when you consider their technology. That's all I know. Another blonde. If you can get one of those things that find cables in walls, it can show implants. Oh, I know the things you mean. Yeah, they're kind of metal detector type things. Daryl Sims was talking about that. Yeah, I mean, the only way to be certain is with a MRI scan. And I can't go to my GP and say, could you please refer me for an MRI scan, because I believe that space aliens have put some implants in my arm. He'd refer me, not to radiology, to the psychiatric clinic. So I'd have to get it done privately, which is very expensive. And I'm not that bothered by it, actually. I'm not too bothered. I'm not. I think it's something that's. It's not causing. I was a bit worried when I found out about it, but it's not really bothering me anymore. Check this out. I checked this out. Maybe it was ET at Rendlesham. He just wanted to use their phone. Oh yeah. Maybe Larry Warren was there at the phone, talking to his mum. Get to the GP to do a biopsy. Well, the thing is, DJ, you have to be willing to do it. You see, I mean, well, you have to get a doctor who'll take you seriously, and they don't. They just they'll think you're crazy. Diego, why would aliens implant you? I've got no idea. I don't know why they implant anyone. Another blonde. If you look at the layout of the runways at Rendlesham, it resembles a truncated pyramid. Does it? Let's have a look. Do you mean Woodbridge or Bentwaters? I'm just going to have a look on maps. Now, where is it? Where is this? Ipswich, Suffolk Coast. Here we go. Not Woodbridge. Go to Bentwaters. It does actually. Yeah, there's actually. If you got it's called Bentwaters Park today. You can actually go in there. It's public, most of it, and it has like a kind of pyramid with a. It's almost like an eye-like structure in the middle of it. Very interesting. Well spotted, another blonde. Right, well, we've got to go back a little bit now. Why do ET film between September and December? My radar could be free of charge, independent of the NHS. Well, thanks, Neil. I mean, I know you live somewhere. I think I know where. I'll have to come up and see you sometime. I will. Thank you. I will. Independent of the NHS. Well, Neil, I wouldn't want to get you into trouble because Neil is a healthcare professional. I won't say any more than that because I don't. Because just even mentioning what he is could get him in the shit. Because look what happened to me. But Neil's a healthcare professional, and I don't want to get him into trouble. So whatever we do, we'd have to do discreetly. But I really appreciate this. That's good of you, mate. And if you can do it without, if you could do it without getting in trouble, that'd be great. Gary PR says, any reconciliation with Nick on the horizon, do you think? Nick Colostrum. I do hope so, because basically I've been invited back to Newcastle by the same people who organised the brilliant event that Nick and I spoke at. Absolutely fantastic. And, well, hopefully they've invited Nick too. And if he does, I'll suggest, look, can we put our differences aside? Even if it's just for a short time. Even if it's just temporary, hopefully we can make amends. I do hope we can. As a biopsy, Alex, you'll do a biopsy. Oh, thanks. I don't know if a biopsy is the right thing though, because biopsy, it's basically an artificial structure in my arm. It's not the actual flesh itself. I don't know if it's actually that kind of if it's that kind of thing. I mean, an X-ray would possibly reveal something, but MRI scan is the way really to do it properly, but I would still be interested to get it X-rayed. Stephen Bamber says, I set off one of the devices walking past his van. Cancer. So I can pretend I can say I'm worried about cancer. I could do, but I mean the thing is, he'd probably look and say, "Oh, there's no cancer there." That's the thing. Ronnie, but RAF Bent was host of the WSA nuclear, which linked the flight path, hence the pyramidal design. All right, okay. See if Larry is legit. Larry is legit. He is. When Capel Green comes out, you won't shut up the hate cult. The Larry Warren hate cult will still be hating. But they'll be sitting in a smaller and smaller circle with much less influence. Fewer people will believe them. So, so that's so yeah. I mean, that's why I'm waiting for it to come out. Chili says, "What happened between you and Nick Colstrom, if you don't mind me asking?" Not at all, Chili. I've done an entire video about it called "Is There Any Hope?" where I talk about what happened with Nick Colstrom. The only reason I did it is because Nick was making public statements about it too. Another blonde. Perhaps you need someone who's willing to have the chip dug out. Yeah, another blonde. There are people who do that. There are people who do that. There's a guy called, Dr. Roger Lear used to, and he doesn't anymore. He's died, unfortunately. But there are people who do it. And Nick, Alex says, "I'm not a professional." Oh, right, so you'll just use your penknife, will you, Alex? Lee, I'd love to see you back in Newcastle. Were you there, Lee, at the last event? That'd be cool. David, will you get your porter's job back if aliens appear, Pen? Well, they may offer it. I don't think I'd want it back unless I wouldn't want my porter's job back unless the situation in the NHS vastly improves. Because I've got another job now and I'm really enjoying it. It's far less stressful. So I wouldn't give that up to go back into the porter's situation as it was. I wouldn't give that up just for that. No, you weren't. Okay, Lee, but I hope to see you there. I do hope to see you there. When you're back in Newcastle, I'll come and see you. Hey, Steve. Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, if you go to the Panmo Voice, there's a whole list of all the kinds of things I'm involved in. I'm speaking at various places. Serious question, says Alex. How many people would you think have implants? I'm not sure, Alex. I mean, I know of a large number of people I know have had them detected, but they're all people who seem to be involved in the UFO community. Across the general population, I'm not so sure. I don't know, is the answer. It could be that being involved in the UFO community is one of the reasons why you get targeted with this kind of thing. I think... Gary PR, I think these implants have been done by Nick Pope. I'll try asking him and see what he says. He may say, "I can neither confirm nor deny that." If you have an alien chip, this could provide evidence for disclosure. Well, Diego Rivera, unfortunately not. Now, these chips, they're not actually chips. What they are is they're little slivers of metal, but they're very often an unusual... they're just very small, usually less than 1/4 of an inch in size. They look like slivers. Like metallic splinters, but the actual metal itself is usually an unusual alloy. It's an alloy that's not normally created. It's not normally a pure material. It's usually an alloy of several different metals, but it's not one that's forged anywhere on the earth. So it's not like steel, which is like a mixture of charcoal and iron, or it's not bronze, which is copper and tin. It's something different. Babies who are never going to get chipped like grains of rice. Another blonde. You're talking about where they put chips into newborn babies, like electronic chips, like Very Chip and Digital Angel, because they are. There's a lot of drive now towards getting babies microchipped at birth, so they're on a database. They're on an electronic database. And what's in that dragon juice? Well, it's actually just orange squash, but it keeps me going. It's just this stuff. It's just that. A little bit of water, and it keeps me going. Stephen Bamber, could the chip on your bank card or library card, driving license, etc., your clothes or your body? Well, they do. They have RFID chips on these things. On the bank chip, your library card, yeah, they do. Which means which is what they used to scan when you take books out and things like that in the bank and take money out. The Royals are all RH negative, says another blonde. When they need spare organs, they know how to find them. Right, well, I don't know. I hope I'm not Rh negative then. Because ooh, that's a scary thing. I wouldn't want Prince William having one of my kidneys or anything like that. They might arrange a little accident for me, you know. I die, get hit by a car and then stuff like that. Do I put salt and vinegar on my chip? No, I prefer... yeah. Tess Gerritsen. Tess Gerritsen did a novel about it, really? Because I've read... she did a great book about... yeah, Tess Gerritsen did a really good book about spare parts, about growing creatures for spare parts. And it was like... I forgot the title of the book now. But it was just like glands and things like that. But yeah, they could... but she's really good. She's really great. She reminds me of Robin Cook. Do you remember Robin Cook, who did Coma and Brain and stuff like that? The aliens aren't worried in NHS. Want to get a lump removed from my undercarriage and the bastards gave me the snip. Ooh, I'll try to avoid that. If you have a mobile phone, are you surveilled? Yes. Could you have multiple chips in one human? She says, yes. Alex, could you just... and what Rh negative is copper-based blood. Blue blood, says another blonde. Yeah. Well, Badge 51, Ron A says, going back to RFI, why has Jim Peniston gone to ground since his binary code revelation? He's hinted at further codes. Maybe he has a health matter like his colleague Jim Burrows. Well, he may well do. I mean, it seems like well, Larry himself has health problems since his experience, both mental and physical. And it does appear that with John Burrows, he almost died actually as a result of his illness, and his medical records were classified. And he had to go to court to get hold of them. He's now got some compensation from the government, which is very important actually, because he was injured in the line of duty basically by a UFO, and this has now been admitted in court, which should hopefully set up some kind of common law precedent, so other people will go to court who have had UFO experience and claim criminal injuries. So you see, this is why these sort of things are so important. Yeah, so. I don't know what happened with Peniston. I was actually there in the audience in 2010 when he revealed this thing about the binary codes, and it didn't make any sense, and I suspect it was a kind of I suspected it was some kind of some piece of confusion. I don't know why he said it, but it didn't make any sense. Excuse me. Oh. Right, so, what's the time now? 20 past 10. Okay. So what I suspect, The Last Jedi, 7 out of 10. Okay. David Mundy, Larry Warren has divided ufologists. Who is right? I think Larry's right. I think Larry is, well, in terms of the Rendlesham Forest incident, I don't discount that Colonel Holt, Peniston, Burrows and the others had real experiences. But the idea that Larry's experience is false which is what is being claimed. There is an idea that Larry made his stuff up. He essentially purloined the testimony of other people. Is false, and the film Capel Green is going to explain it all. Stephen Bamber, there's a movie with Gene Hackman and Will Smith, and they have multiple clips. Oh, what's that? Is that Enemy of the State? That's it, Enemy of the State, says Gary, that's it. Yes, that was good, that was very good. What do you think about Tinder? Is one of your videos you give dating advice? Do I give dating advice in one of my videos? Oh, I do, don't I? Yes. Oh, I did two videos actually on that. Oh, it was that guy somebody wrote to me, and they just wanted to know why they couldn't get a girlfriend. I think this is like a teenage boy or something. I think he was. I don't know how old he is, but he was a teenage boy. He wrote to me and he says, I don't know, I'm going to get a girlfriend. You know, it just feels like girls aren't interested in me and stuff like this. And so I wrote back to him, and I played the agony aunt, which I'm not qualified to do. It came at a bad time too, because this was just after I split up with Sue Stain, and I was like feeling really fed up. Don't forget the Steve mumbling update, says Gary PR. Right, Steve, are you there? I haven't forgotten you, and I'm going to do a reply video to you. Okay. Hi, Winslow. Nice to see you again, Winslow. I'm going to do a response video to Steve mumbling, because Steve. Well, I have responded to his points in the comments sections, because he's been filling my videos with comments, and a large number of them, and I have replied to them. I've replied to Steve mumbling's comments, but I looked at his channel. He has a large number of videos. A lot of them are replies to. Well, one of them is a direct reply to me. Another of them is based on things that I've said. So I've decided I'm going to do at least one reply video to Steve mumbling, because obviously I disagree with him, and so I hope to just illustrate exactly why I think he's wrong. And I think he's quite looking forward to it. So Steve, if you're there, I haven't forgotten you. Okay. So I don't want to be downhearted, okay, but it seems like we're upstream of something big. This is why I want to do this live stream. I'll do more live streams as well, because I quite like doing these. And if I can get the sound working, it's cool. When I finish the live stream, obviously, like, it'll become just a normal video like live streams do. But I might edit it. I might like download it and edit it, and then delete it, and then upload it with an edited version. This happened when I did a live stream at Miles's place. I think we're up to something's going to happen. I mean, if in the next month or so you hear about a nuclear attack, it may not be what we think it is. I don't know. Can the UFO stop all the missiles? I hope they can. But if the Illuminati are going to keep trying until one gets through, then we're in trouble. Alternatively, we may. I think there's going to be more information on UFOs coming out, and it may come out through. It may well come out through Tom DeLonge and his organisation, but we've got to be wary in case it is fake. Now, there's a few more questions here. Emperor Mong, new conspiracy film about the Circle. What's that, Emperor? I don't know. I don't know about that film. Stephen Bam says tinfoil hat. Does the trick with the tinfoil hat work? I don't know. I'm not going to even try it, because you know what'll happen. It's just there'll be screenshots taken everywhere, and everyone will like put the video up. They'll quote mine me to make me look crazy. Steve O says, have you ever seen anything in Rendlesham Forest like Brenda Butler has been? Portals, alien cryptids. No, I haven't, actually, Steve. I've been at Rendlesham Forest a couple of times now. And I actually went in there. I went there with Brenda once as well, and with Derek Savory and a couple of other people. And they reported the things that they've been seeing. I didn't actually see anything. But we went in there at night, and it was spooky and it was dark. Didn't see anything strange. But I mean, I do... I've heard of many people who have seen things strange. Very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I'm going to try... I'm just going to make another phone call. 1 second. See if my client is there. Is this just for work tomorrow? Okay. Stephen Bamber thinks the tinfoil does work. David Schultz. I agree. More worried about Mother Nature than man's. Nope, not in. Nope, not in. I'm self-employed. I'm just trying to contact one of my clients for information about my work tomorrow. Not heard the last 10 minutes because the Windows narrator is such a pain in the arse. Right, DJ. Sorry about that, DJ. I'll do more live streams. I'll do more of these. I will do. I don't know. I suppose I can, when I end the live streams, ET calling. Phone home. Yeah. So I'm just if there's more information comes to light, I'll do another of these live streams. Okay, I'll do more of these, or I'll do more videos, and I'll certainly cover it on the Hapanamo Voice. Now, do remember, I do have the Hapanamo Voice, which is like a news web. It's my news blog, which I update almost every day. I didn't do anything today because I was writing on another blog, because I have several different blogs, and there's a HPWA, which is all about hospital portering matters, and I've just done a couple of articles about the Carillion scandal, and I put stuff on Hapanamo Voice almost every day. I've got Hapanamo Radio, check that out, and my books, of course. I haven't got any copies of them, but do check out my books, especially my two most recent ones, Roswell Rising and Roswell Revealed. Roswell Rising is out in oh, one moment. Hello. Hey Georgina, how are you? Twice. Yep, sure, no problem. Thanks. Bye bye. Right, well that's sorted. That was just my client. I just make a note. Hang on a sec. This is just work. Sorry, I had to keep this on because this is a live stream and I can't pause it. And I'm just sorting out my work for tomorrow. Another blonde. Do Airfix make UFO models? Yes, they do. Airfix, actually, you can get a model of the Bob Lazar saucer. Ben, did you nick that glass from the pub? No, I bought it. I bought this at IKEA. I promise you. Gary P, are you employed as a gigolo, Ben? No, at least not yet. No one. It's one of the things. I mean, I've got several clients, you know, and I do various jobs for them, like house cleaning, gardening, stuff like that. No one's asked me to attend to their personal services yet. David Schultz, when you do the next live stream, give time and time zone. Okay, because I just put 9 PM and that was GMT, and of course I have got viewers all over the world. I know, and so I should have made that point. Yeah. DJ B2, yeah, the sport model. Stephen Bamber, does anyone know what I found out at Exeter Cathedral? No. What did you find out, Stephen? What did you find out at Exeter Cathedral? Bushes trimmed. It's 69 Phuket. Yeah, all kinds of things. I mean, this time of year, there's not much gardening actually. I don't know what kind of climate you live in, wherever you are in the world, but here in Britain, winter, everything stops growing. The lawns stop growing, so there's no weeding or mowing to be done. There's no pruning or anything like that. Any of you related to Jeremy Bamber? Who's Jeremy Bamber? That name rings a bell. Billy Rumans is there. I made an Airfix model of the Bob Lazar UFOs. That's right. Yeah, you can get. I think Lazar gets a cut. I think he actually. It's all like a. I think it's a. I think he actually licensed that to Airfix. Any more moron vids planned? Oh, the moron vids. What do you mean but you do nothings? No, I haven't thought about that. Moron vids. I haven't. Why do women shave with their eyebrows? Draw them back on. Jerry Brown killed his family in Tolls Hunt, Darcy. Oh right. Oh dear. I thought I've heard that name before somewhere. Oh. 69 Phuket. Those mysteries. Yeah. Right. Thanks guys for the information on there. Bamber Gascoigne. He was the guy who did University Challenge. Do you remember that? The moron vid you did. Oh, I know. Right, VA Mose. The moron vid. That's right. Hunting morons. That's on Tino's channel. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's anything we can really add to it. You know, VA, because what Tino and the rest of us did was so good. And I absolutely love doing that Hunting Morons video. It's just such a great comedy. I absolutely thought it was fantastic, and we really good. I played the Bigfoot creature. Yeah. PIXO. Ben, you're a shill and a fraud. Right. Let me just delete that. Remove. Right, there you go. You say stupid things, you get them deleted. Right, okay, I'm going to ban this twat. Hang on. Let me just ban this person. How do I go? Hide user on this channel. That's it. I'll put user on timeout. What does that mean? You put one timeout. Okay, I've just banned this idiot. Was funny. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? My pet mouse Elvis died today. He was caught in a trap. Oh, check this out. Very good. BA51. You missed the moron vid. Do check it out. You need to go to Tiberius Kirk's channel. It's ZXR Alien Warrior. Check that out. I've got a link to it on a Panmo Voice. I'm off, Ben. I'll see you in chat on Thursday. Neil, thanks for posting, mate, and thanks for your offer of help. I'll have to get in touch with you about that. And yeah, I'll see you on Panmo Radio Chat Thursday. It's great that you can now take part. It was really good. Enjoyed your Skeptics lecture, says Bash. Thanks very much. My next conference, I'm actually speaking at New Horizons St Anne's on, I believe, the 5th... What day is it? Hang on. On the 5th of February. Monday the 5th of February, New Horizons St Anne's. I'll be posting the details of it very soon. Okay. So I hope to see you there. ZXR Alien Warrior. Yeah, it's a great channel. Hunting Morons. Yeah, he's got a good taste in motorbikes. That's it. Yeah. Gary, I've actually been meaning to get David Polides on. That's something I've got to get over and sort it out. Yeah. New Horizons says 16. The Flat Earth guy. Yeah, he did speak there. The flat one of the Flat Earth people. He spoke there. I live in Blackpool, says Sandra. I might see you there. Sandra, please do come along. Please do come to New Horizons St Anne's, and also come to the Probe conference as well, which is in the same place. Well, it's just across the road, and that's on March. That's in, what day is it? So on the 24th and 25th of March, I'm speaking there as well. So hope to see you there, Sandra. Jamila Jackson, hey, how you doing, Jamila? I saw your video on the Beatles. What a load of fucking bullshit. How can you even think that it's true? Well, that's not, Jamila, that's not an argument, is it? How can I think it's true? Well, you need to explain why I'm wrong. And just saying something's fucking bullshit does not make it wrong. Check this out. When am I talking in London next? Right. I haven't been invited to any London things. I don't think I'm speaking anywhere near London, actually. I met you at Probe, Sandra, did you? Oh, cool. Because you are, he's still alive. Now that's again, Samina. You've got to, do you realise what logic is and reason? Okay. Was on the Jimmy Fallon show, idiot. Watch your mouth, Jamila. Be polite, or you leave the chat box. Next conference, my next conference is Badge 51. Is New Horizons St Anne's. I haven't actually posted a link yet. I'll post a notice, but I will. Okay. I'll post a notice all about that. Please make an update video. Well, Jamila, I've done a Panmo radio show with the man who claims to be Paul McCartney's son. Check that out. My name is Famella. All right. Will you call yourself Jamila? Jamelia. Famella. All right. Look into the Bamber case. Crimes that shocked Britain. So was Jeremy Bamber innocent? Is that what you're saying? Or was he mind controlled? Was this a mind control operation? What am I going to talk about? Oh, Steve, I'm actually going to talk about a New Horizons. I'm going to talk about the BBC mind control. The BBC and mind control should be very interesting because it involves things such as some of the symbolism that's on Broadcasting House. Gary Pierre, have a look at Robert Zephyr's YouTube channel, The Atlantean Gardens. Okay, thanks. I will. Crimes that shocked Britain, chaos in the fast lane. Oh, another blonde. Is that those two Swedish twins? The ones that are super strong, those super soldiers. That was very odd. That was, yes. They can't be traced now. No one knows where they are. They've released the one from jail. He was innocent, fitted up by relatives, inherited the estate, embittered girlfriend. Julian Cover. I think the Paul McCartney thing is probably true. I didn't believe it at first, but the evidence is interesting. Yeah, that's true, Julian. I didn't believe it at first, Julian. I was against it, but it came out as real. I mean, I looked into it. The Bill, hey Bill, 9999. Nice to see you. Yeah, the chaos in the fast line thing was very, very odd. These two girls, these two young women. One was hit by a car twice. One was run over by a lorry. Yeah, they didn't seem to be badly hurt. Jamil, you were wrong on the McCartney issue. Jamil, no, I'm not. And I'll explain why I'm not. Check this out. A Madness Shared by Two. Check this out. That was a book about it, I remember. Somebody wrote a book about it. There were three. Three what? Oh, what do you mean, another blonde? Is this the people who were murdered? Is that what you're saying? The people who were murdered? '69 Phuket. Jordan B. Peterson is an interesting guy. Yes, he is. He's very good. Did you see his debate on Channel 4 News? He was actually did a debate with someone. Three identical sisters. Well, there was a third one, another blonde. Yeah. Now, Jordan B. Peterson did a really good debate where he absolutely pwned this ridiculous BBC, this ridiculous media hack. I like him. He's very, very good. He stands up to Orwellian language control, because he in Canada. Because Canada's very bad for this. They wanted to force him to use Orwellian languages and he refused. And so, don't speak down to me because I'm a woman. No one's speaking down to you because you're a woman. Don't get into paranoid feminism, Jamelia. I'm not talking down to you. You're the one who called me an idiot. I'm saying to you that I don't agree with you. That's what I'm saying. You're the one who says I'm talking. You were quite rude to me when you first came along. Okay. But feminist paranoia is not an argument any more than saying, oh, Paul McCartney's real and that's it, is an argument. Okay? I met Paul in Australia at his show in Australia when he was on his first UX. I don't think, see, if you watch the video, Jamelia, watch the video. Oh my God, I'm so rude, am I? No, you're rude. If you watch the video, I actually present an argument, okay? I present a case why I think this is true. I didn't believe it at first, Jamelia. Okay, I didn't believe that wasn't Paul McCartney. I thought it was. I thought that this is not true. This is one of the conspiracy theories I don't believe in, and I said so at a certain time. Okay, and then I realised differently. Okay, so if you think otherwise, you have to be willing to debate. Okay, you have to saying something that's making assertions, especially if they contain a lot of swearing and personal insults, is not an argument. Watch Stefan Molyneux and what he says about debating, and he's the art of the argument and things like that. Anyone seen Steven Spielberg's UFO release? Taken, yes, David, that is really good. The Taken series. I'm debating. You're just wrong. You can't. Well, I disagree. No, you're not. Why do you think? You said you met Paul in Australia. Okay, that's not you. How do you know he was Paul? Jamelia, how do you know that was Paul? Stephen Gerrard was replaced as well. Really? You don't like it. It does not mean Paul is dead, and you know that. Oh, I'm getting fed up with this. All right. We're going to have to just disagree on this, Jamelia. Okay? I mean, if you want... I can't dedicate this entire live stream to this, alright? Yeah. So what's all this about, what's all this about Stephen Gerrard? I'm not going to take down the video. I'm getting rid of this person. Sorry. Right. Time out. So you're Jamelia. I'm sorry, but you're nuking the chat. You're nuking the chat box now. Okay. I'm happy to debate you if you want a proper debate about it, but it's got to be about the issues. Okay. Rhetoric and insults and saying, "Oh, woman," that's not an argument. Clone double. There are some people I think have clones. I mean, I do believe the cloning is possible, and they have actually done it. I mean, there's There's a really weird. Yeah, some really weird. Hi, Vrillon. Vrillon is there. I've met Vrillon. He really exists. Is Dr. Stephen Hawking? This is interesting. Check this out. Is Dr. Stephen Hawking really Dr. Stephen Hawking? That's an interesting point, because if you watch this brings us back to Rich Planet again. Because if you watch Rich Planet, it's very, very interesting, because there's a lot of evidence. There's that several people have been comparing pictures of Hawking over the years. Now, firstly, Hawking had Lou Gehrig's. He's got Lou Gehrig's disease. Right now, this is something I've talked about with doctors at the hospital where I was a porter, because if you get Lou Gehrig's disease, you usually die within 5 years. It is deadly, and you'll die within 5 years. Most people, few people make it past more than 5 years. I think the record is like 10 or something, 10 years or something like that. Now, Stephen Hawking was diagnosed at the age of like 22, I believe, and he's now in his 74. He's something like that. So, did he must maybe he was died and replaced by somebody else. Okay. Simulator memes. Ben, your shaky cameras are so shit. When are you going to get a good camera? Well, simulator. Look, if you look, you notice I've actually started using Steadicam software. Okay. Matthew Williams actually had a word with me about this, and he's right. He was right. Okay. He's done a video about this. Why does he sound like an old 80s printer? Well, he first got his voice box in the 80s, and the voice he's become attached to, so he's kept it. Well, he's had it when he's had it upgraded, but he hasn't given himself a more sophisticated voice. I don't care. You need to remake your old videos because they're old and shaky. Simulator memes. I don't have time, unfortunately, to remake a lot of my old videos. I am going to remake a couple, because some of them really are bad, and some of them are in like little bits, and I actually deleted a couple of them. Okay, so I'll be remaking a couple of them, but I don't have time. Have you seen how big my catalogue is? It's especially my Helen Duncan one is one I might remake, but it seems very popular. People like my first Helen Duncan video. I've done 4 Helen Duncan videos. Okay. Matthew has a gimbal. Why don't you have one? Well, gimbals. I might get one of those actually. I did. I've actually. But at the moment I'm using the Steadicam software I have now actually does a better job than the gimbal. I mean, getting a really good gimbal is too expensive. They cost hundreds. Are you going to do more Milton Keynes videos? Yes, I did. I said I'd do more. Don't call me a liar, please, or you'll go the same way as the others. All right, now, be polite. I haven't done any more Milton Keynes videos. Not because I'm lying. It's because I forgot. Oh, I had some problems. Okay, and it got in the way. But I am going to do them. All right. Hey, Bowden, yeah, I mean, I'm glad good to hear you too, mate. Good to hear you too. You've just noticed. Thank you, John. Thank you, John Daniel, standing up for me to Simulator Memes. Yeah, I'm. If Simulator Memes is next post, right, you're going as well. That's the third person I've had to ban. Bye bye. Okay, I've just got rid of that one. Great, so that's 3 people I've had to ban. That's not bad though, just 3 people having to ban them. Milton Keynes is like a strange experiment. Well, really, that's because it is a strange experiment. It is actually a solar temple. Now, if you see some of my, I've done 2 Milton Keynes videos. I was going to do some more, and someone actually offered to help me and show me around, and I've sort of lost touch with them. Then maybe that is something I need to look into, doing another Milton Keynes video, because it is a solar temple. It's all basically linked up to the sun and everything. You saw that video. Thanks, Furlong. It's full of stone. It has like these. Gary, I've got rid of him. He's gone. Now, Milton Keynes does have like these reconstructions of Neolithic monuments, which is very strange. It also has its roads lined up to particular astronomical constants, such as the risings of the sun at certain times of the year. Very interesting indeed. And they're called there's Avebury Boulevard, Silbury Boulevard. These refer to Avebury and Silbury Hill. And Midsummer Boulevard. Hottest music videos. Ben, can you see my comments or what? Yeah, well, this is the first one you've made, I think. I'm trying to give you important information. Yeah, okay, go on, go ahead. Which upload, says Steve 071, which upload would you choose as the best you've made? Oh, I'm very pleased with my second Helen Duncan video, simply because it's got more information in it. It's better. It's done better. The skeptic one the skeptic one I've just done actually is really good. It's hard to know. I'd have to go through them and check. Yeah. John Lennon from the Beatles is still alive. What? What it was? He got abducted by an internet microchip and is living at Area 51. Really? Hottest music videos. Are you taking the urine out of me? Are you extracting the urine? Hi Taj. Good to hear you. Good to see Taj. Taj has organised the AwakeCon. Check out, the videos are up. There's some really good videos on there, even the ones that I don't have. Gary, I know he is. I'm going to get rid of him in a minute. If his next post is rude in any way, he's going. No, I went on an alien tour there the other day and saw him. Really? Well, could you post the evidence, please? Right, never mind. Roots, Hugo, sorry, did you say something? I might have missed it. Sorry if I missed that. Are you off then, Hugo? I'll see you. Sorry if you made a point and I didn't see it, because some of them do sort of slip through. There are an awful lot of comments on here. Hi Ben, it's Jason. Hey Jason, how are you? Yes, we have met. That's right. As regards Jordan Peterson, alienating young men. Yeah, it is. Ever been associated with Jack Turnbull from MUFON? No, V8 Mos. I've never had anything to do with MUFON. I'm not associated with them at all. What about alien lifestyle habits? I don't know, Diego Rivera. I don't know. Kathy got her ass handed to her. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Kathy did a great job. What if? Hey, do you know what if? Top work on the Skeptics video. I appreciate the fact you go above and beyond by attending their meetings, etc. Oh, thank you. Thanks, What If? Stephen Bamber. Exeter Cathedral. There's a cult working out of it, and it's guarded bed by ancient tree spirits. Really? All right. 5 Live interviews better. All right. Well, he's done wherever he goes. Jordan Peterson does a great job. I mean, he's a great speaker, and he's got some great ideas, and he's incredibly brave. You know. No, Emperor, I think he's talking about Kathy Morgan, which is... Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought you meant Kathy Morgan from... Right, Vril, I understand what you mean now. You're talking about that ridiculous news hack who interviewed Peterson. Yes, she did. She was completely pwned. She was pure ponage. Poonage, whatever you say. Yeah, I think... Sorry, Vrillon, I think I got mixed up. I thought you meant Kathy Morgan. Sorry, Kathy Newman. Is that her name? She's some media clone, like they all are. Damn. I mean, these people who become like newsreaders. I mean, I don't want to run someone down, because there's actually someone I know who's a newsreader who's really, really interested in these kinds of subjects, and I won't say anymore. I won't say anything about her because I don't want to get her into trouble. But she's into this. She's into these kinds of subjects. Dr. Peterson is fighting a good fight. He is. He's standing up to Orwellian language in Intribution. I've not read... I mean, he's written some books on theology I've not read. I don't know if he's going to write any books on this particular subject. I hope so. You're going, okay, another blonde. Night. I'll see you then. Take it easy. I'm going to end this stream in a minute, actually. I'm getting tired. What's going on about these sealed indictments in the US? I don't know, but sealed indictments. Well, Taj, some people say that the missile attack is all about the fact that Trump is doing these kinds of he's trying to drain the swamp, as he said, and the deep state don't like it because it involves a lot of their particular machinations, their connections, as I was saying earlier. So yeah, it's so maybe he is maybe this is why they're trying to have these missile attacks. I just hope none of them succeed. As I said, I hope if whoever is shooting them down, I hope they carry on doing it. I hope they succeed. 9,000. They're blimey. I mean, when you consider what the government's like, the thing is, I think the thing about Trump is, I think he has a massive swamp to drain, and well, he could get sucked down into it himself. That's the problem. Do I have to be up early tomorrow, Sorenable? No, not particularly. I don't start until about 9. But I'm just tired. I'm just feeling tired now. I am. I'm just really tired. So I might end the stream. A lot of people are leaving now, and so I might just yeah, I might just leave it. I've tried to answer everyone's questions. I might have missed a few of them. Trump is a new world order. Well, I hope not, Diego. I hope he's still fighting back. Alex, you too, mate. Thanks very much. Hang on, where's this person? Oh, right. What's this? This is your proof, is it? I think this was just a temporary ban, I think. Okay, imager.com. Okay. All right, well, hottest music videos. That's fair enough. This has been good. Please do it again, something. I will. Need your rest. She wants it twice. 69 Phuket, right? It's not what you think it is. Oh. When am I going to go live again? I'll let you know. When I've got a subject I can do a live stream about, I'll let you know. Okay. So good night. Does anyone else want to say anything? Because I think I'm going to knock this on the head now. All right. Do you have a Discord, Ben? If not, you should get a Discord. Is that like what's a Discord? Oh, a Discord server. Yeah, I mean I've had a look at that. Yeah, definitely. Any thoughts on the 9/11 mobile phone calls on the planes, Ben? Fact or fiction? That there were no planes on. Oh well, if there were planes, the planes didn't strike the buildings. It was something else. GS Evolved. Hi, GS Evolved. Thanks very much, all of you. Get a Discord server. Okay. And check this out. Don't let the fuckers get you down. I won't, mate. I won't. See you, Lee. And thank you very much. I'll do it again sometime. And please tune into Hapanmo Radio on Thursday evening. 8 PM Thursday evening. Okay. All the details are on the Hapanmo Radio blog. And night-night, John. Night-night. Thank you very much, all of you. No, you're not alone in thinking that. Check out the United Planet channel. Okay, right. It's almost 11 o'clock. I know it's getting late. Okay, so I'll just, I think I'll just stop the stream now. Thank you, all of you. I'll just